I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up, and go from king and I'm on a pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay defeated, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art isn't art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Drone Brews. Hope everybody is just doing absolutely stupendous. We missed last week due to CES, but we're back. We're back with a brand new episode. Got a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about tonight. It's going to be a very, very jam-packed, condensed 1 hour. So I hope you're ready and you're ready to listen and learn, because we're going to be talking about it all. Before I go too far ahead of myself, let me go ahead and bring in my esteemed colleague. What more can you want from a co-host that doesn't get paid a damn thing? Eddie Nunez.
Welcome back. Welcome back, sir.
Dude, it's great to be back, man. It was nice to take last week off. We got to do DRL last week, so we didn't have a chance to do any live streams from Vegas. And honestly, we're pretty busy out there. We were staying pretty damn busy while we were there. So
the DRL event, I was following your post through Twitter and Instagram, and that looked like a pretty cool setup. I mean, it was really, really nice.
Yeah, I'll say this: the DRL event was awesome. There would have been no way I could have live streamed from there. I was going to, but they gave me a list of rules, and one of those things where we weren't allowed to broadcast live from the event, because the way DRL posts their events, it's like they announce the winners and everything after. I think it's February 5th that will air on NBC, and then you'll be able to know who won and blah 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 blah. So pretty cool though. It was awesome to see the production. Yeah, it was awesome to talk to the pilots too. Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I was like, where'd you go?
You just kicked me out. The pilots that you interviewed were great. The second guy, I didn't catch his name, but he was very energetic and yeah, he was great. You know,
so that's Evan Turner. He was actually last season's champion. So he's the youngest champion of DRL currently to date. So that's Evan Turner. That's Heads Up FPV, by the way.
Oh, cool.
An amazing pilot. Pilot.
I gotta follow that. I gotta start watching DRL. I hear great things about it.
It's cool to talk to the guys, and it's cool to see the other side of life, like the racing side of life, and how competitive it is, and just like the energy. It's just it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Carolina Aerial Visual says, yeah, just don't walk out. This isn't Ken Herron's show. Eddie doesn't do that. No. I don't give Eddie a reason to. Also, I'm not a douchebag like Ken Herron, so there's that. Like I don't give a fuck. I don't like that guy.
Yeah, my hats off to Geeks Vana for doing that.
Yeah, good on him for doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
That was pretty brutal.
All right, so let's talk about Orqa FPV. So when I was at CES, I had a chance to visit the Orqa booth. I got a chance to talk to the guys over at Orqa. Really nice bunch of people. They got a lot going on, and they had their digital FPV system. Like, it was in a case. There was nothing working. There was no working samples or anything like that. It was all, to the best of my knowledge, everything was a prototype except for the commercial unit. So they had a really large unit sitting out there. And when I asked them, I said, what's the deal with all this? The only one that was functioning was the large one. So the 5G unit is not functioning, and the smaller one, like the size of the Vista, was not functioning at this point. The other thing I asked him about, the resolution, and I asked them about the latency and also the FPS back to the goggles. And this is where I have some concerns. So as of right now, Orqa FPV has an issue with latency. At the time of talking about it right now, when I was at CES, they were trying to get the latency under 50 milliseconds. So they're still having a battle with latency. And I asked them, I said, well, why is that? And they said that they're transmitting a full 720p, as to where like DJI, while it looks like 720p, it's not full 720p, is what they told me. So you lose some resolution back to the goggles. And I was like, okay. I said, so what's your goal? What's like your goal latency? And they're trying to get under 30 consistently, is what they're aiming for. So under 30 is what they're aiming for. But I think the most alarming thing was the fact that the FPS back to the goggles, they're saying that they can only get 60 FPS, which, if I'm not mistaken, DJI is transmitting at 120 FPS. Is that my
Yeah,
understanding?
that's correct. It's
Yeah.
120. Yeah. Did they share any pricing on these products or no?
The
Ballpark
goggles at the
figure?
time I was there, the goggles were like 569. I was actually holding the actual add-on unit. So they have like the digital receiver, which actually is pretty cool. So the digital receiver will work via HDMI. So like if you want to use a set of Fat Shark goggles, you can use a set of Fat Shark goggles. Or if you have the Orqa 1 goggles, it'll actually clip to the top of it for the lowest latency experience. So here's another problem, is if you're going to use the Orqa Digital with, let's say, a set of Fat Sharks or other FPV goggles, they made it seem like there would be an introduced latency because you'd be using them through another connection, like another HDMI or another port. But their goggles have a port designed for their digital modules. So I mean, it sounds really promising what they're looking to do. It does sound like really promising, but the problem is they don't have anything ready to go in that. Like, they're still testing this. So they don't have anything ready. So how long? I would guess another 6 to 7 months before we see these hit the market, I would say, which sort of sucks. I thought they would be a lot closer, but it doesn't sound like they're closer than like HD0 at this point.
Yeah, and not to knock down, any other competitors because competition is good. But when you're talking about that kind of money, I mean, like if I was trying to transition over to digital, I'm going DJI. I mean, DJI has
Right.
proven themselves.
And that's what I sort of said to them. Like, I want to see them do well. I want to see them do well, but I kept arguing with them. I'm like, no, it's like you need to have at least 120 frames per second to the goggles. Like, that's that. I mean, if you want to compete and you want to have the best possible experience, we need at least 120 frames per second. And I said, you got to get that milliseconds got to be around the 24 mark, because if you look at DJI is consistently from like 22 to 27. Like, if you pay attention to your milliseconds, it's like
Right.
22 to 27 with close proximity flight. I think anything more than that, I think, that it's like just go HD0 at that point. If you're
Yeah.
really, really against, if you're really truly against DJI in that aspect, then just go that way. But That's what they're offering. I mean, they had a really super small booth. There was nobody there. I mean, it was really hard to even find them. They were over at the Sands Convention Center, which is like on the backside of the Venetian. And it was like the most compact, like little area. Um, and like I said, there was nothing there. Everything there was a prototype. So sort of sucks. But I was hoping to see more out of them. I think it will make people happy if they're patient enough to wait and they're running analog now and they have no, desire to jump to another digital brand like, HD Zero or even DJI, then yeah, sure, wait for it. I think there will be good things for those of us that do wait. I do like the size of the Orca air unit. So I don't want to call it an air unit, but their digital VTX is the same size as a Caddx Vista. But the thing I like about theirs is that they're going to make everything plug and play to where right now, if you buy a Vista, you have to solder to the Vista. With
Right.
this, you won't have to solder to the unit itself. It's going to have a connection that you'll be able to plug and play. They want to make everything where it's plug and play, where it's super easy uh, to mount and dismount. So I think that'll be pretty cool if they can pull that off. And if obviously they can bring in the big name cameras, I think they're going to have a big win there. It'll be a good competitor, but it's just whether or not they can beat obviously what Caddx is partnered with DJI.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's going to be what it's all about. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Uh,
the camera quality is going to be really, really important.
yeah, the camera quality is pretty important. RC Ritter FPV says the Orca flight controller with the system will be nice. Yeah, I agree. I think it's neat. I think you know what it is. It's like when you see one flight controller, you've sort of seen them all at this point. Like Betaflight really doesn't take good advantage of like the H7 processors right now. I think it's more processing power than we really need. I think the F7s are more than enough. If the quality control on these flight controllers are like top notch, then yeah, I'm all about it. But I mean, from the prototypes that I got a chance to see at CES, I think they look good. I like the plug and play design. It's nice just to plug things in and not have to sit there and fiddle and solder. I mean, they're really looking to make something that is as seamless as possible for the end user, which I think is great. So that's Orca FPV. I had some video of it in the DRL. I did a DRL video from the event. If you're interested in looking at what that unit looks like, there's some video towards the end. It's just I really didn't have a lot of time to talk with them. There wasn't a lot to talk about, to be honest, really there. All right. So let's transition a little bit here. Let's talk about this little guy. So we got this guy. This is the Altel Nano Plus. And Eddie, I've had nothing but problems with
Oh,
this.
really?
Yeah, nothing but problems with this. Johnny F5 asks why the screen's so small. I don't know why they did that on the Orca ones. I really don't know why they made the screen so small. I asked him that too, and he didn't have really a valid reason as to why. But I said the same thing. Why the hell is the field of view so small? I mean, basically, it's like flying with attitudes at that point. I don't understand. All right, so let's talk about this. This is the Altel Nano Plus. I got this.
So it's been a complete opposite from the Nano Light.
Yeah, it
Right?
really is, man. Like the Altel Light, the Evo Light Plus has been fantastic. Matter of fact, the Evo Light Plus has been so good for me. I've transitioned flying my Mavic 3 for like when I go do real estate photos, not video, but real estate photos. I've been using the Plus for the past couple of houses because it's done so well. I don't have to deal with the geofencing. I don't have to really worry about any of that bullshit, and it just works great. And then so I got this like the day I came back from CES. This was sitting at the house. This is the Nano Plus. And first off, I will just tell you, like picking this drone up after picking up the light, this thing feels super cheap. It actually feels to me, it feels cheaper than the Mini, the Evo Mini or the Mavic Mini. It feels cheaper than that. Um,
Not for nothing, just you maneuvering it. I was gonna say it looks cheap and is making these weird noises too, like a cheap Like,
Yeah,
something cheap.
it does. It does. It's got a lot of hollow points to it. You know, it just has a cheap presence to it. It's a small drone though. I mean, when you get down sub 250 grams, you have to shave weight somehow. You have to cut costs somewhere.
Right.
And they definitely did. Like the battery, for instance, the battery is sort of hard to get in and out for some reason. I don't know why that is. Um, the battery isn't terrible. Like it's a pretty straightforward design. I sort of like the battery. There's no door. Like the Mini has a door. There's no door, which I thought was interesting. The SD card and the the USB-Cs on the backside. So that's pretty cool. Do have the obstacle avoidance front and rear, but in my experience, I have to shut the obstacle avoidance off because it's like it sees things that aren't there. I don't know how to explain it. Like if I'm flying into the sun,
Yeah.
it will periodically stop itself. It'll catch like a glare and it'll stop. And I'm like, shit, okay. So I have to turn that off. But what was more alarming after the first flight, so after the first flight, I flew out to a spot like by my house. I flew out and so it was like a construction zone and it was maybe, I want to say it was like 1,600 feet away from me. So I flew out to the construction zone and I'm just sort of like scanning around, trying to get a feel for the camera. And the first thing I noticed was there was a lot of horizon tilt. I was like,
Mm.
okay, so we got horizon tilt. And then I said, well, let me fly it back to me and I'll calibrate the gimbal and take off again. It wouldn't fly back to me. I'm like, what the hell? And I can see it. It's over the construction zone. So I'm not worried about if anything's going to happen. But the freaking thing wouldn't fly back. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I don't know what made me do this, but I'm playing around with the sticks to see which way the drone would move. And it would go in reverse. It wouldn't go forward, but it would go in reverse. So I literally flew it back to me in reverse.
That's strange.
I flew it back to me in reverse and I landed and I tried it again and I was like, all right, so now it's going forward, but there's definitely an issue with the speed. Like it doesn't get its full speed. At least with this unit, it doesn't get its full speed. And I was like, all right, so that's weird. So then I said, all right, well, let me check the firmware. And sure enough, there was a firmware update. So I said, okay, let me update the firmware. Maybe that's it. You know, sometimes they have bugs, whatever.
Right.
So I updated the firmware. Updating the firmware on this thing took fucking forever. Forever. I basically sat it on my counter and I was laying in bed with the RC so I can watch it. Eddie, I shit you not. It took about 35 minutes to update the freaking firmware on this thing. 35 minutes.
Wow.
Update the firmware. And I was like, all right, okay. I updated the firmware so it was nighttime at this point. So I said, I'll go out in the morning and I'll go out by the water where I always test the drones and I'll try to fly it there. So the first thing I did was I had it down on the ground and I calibrated the gimbal to make sure it was straight. I took off and the gimbal was still a little bit cocked. So I started flying out over the water and I said, well, let me adjust the camera. Let me just change it to make sure it's in 4K 30. I went into the settings and when I came back out of the settings, the drone completely disconnected from the RC. I was like, what the fuck? So it's hovering. It's just hovering above me and it's disconnected. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I killed the application. I went back into the app. It wouldn't reconnect. I disconnected from the RC and I plugged it back into the phone. It would not reconnect. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So then as a last ditch, I decided to reboot the RC and then reconnect it and see if it would do it. Still wouldn't do it. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I messaged QC guy and he's like, leave the RC off for a little while and it'll put itself in return to home. So I left the RC off and it finally, I guess it realized that the RC wasn't connected anymore and it landed. So when it landed, I unplugged the battery, plugged the battery back in, reconnected it, and I was able to take off again. But after that point, I was like, shit, I don't know if I should be flying this thing. So
Wow.
I went to a park and I flew it around the park and it seemed okay, like around the park.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. I was having some confidence issues with it. The other thing with this unit is when I format an SD card, the SD card isn't formatting. Like I'll click format and it'll tell me it formatted it, but when I go back to the computer and I look at the SD, the files, the old files are still on the SD card. So I don't know what's going on with that, but that happens on the Lite and it happens on this. So it's not just something that is specific to this particular unit. It's happening on both. So there's definitely some bugs happening. And I reached out to Autel and I talked to an engineer and I talked to Max, and they said that there's going to be some new firmware coming in the next 2 weeks or so. So there's internal testing happening right now. That internal testing should transition to a external, like a beta, like a public beta, and then they'll actually release that firmware for the entire public. So, but it was just really weird. There's definitely a lot of bugs with the cam with this particular tiny little drone, unfortunately.
And I'm hearing a lot people can't when they boot it up, it says that there's no SD card installed too. So it seems to be a common error with the SD. And I'm hearing that people have to remove the SD and reinstall it back in while it's on.
I've had to do that, and I've actually had to uninstall the application and reinstall the app. I mean, I have some gripes with it. I mean, but the reality is, I mean, this is a small, like little 250 gram drone. I mean, which is cool, but the problem is the smaller we make things and try to make these smaller things do more, the more issues we will inherently introduce because we're trying to cram more technology into a smaller package at an affordable price point. And I hardly call this price affordable. Like $700-800 is not affordable.
I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the price is a little bit too high for what it is. And like I keep seeing people making comparisons with the Nano Plus and the Air 2S. Stop comparing this to the Air 2S. There is no fucking comparison. Lay off the crack pipe. There's no fucking comparison. End of story. Stop. Fuck. Or I will literally put this in a fucking blender. Stop. Fuck. You know, here's my biggest problem with hobbyists is they don't have any fucking idea how a camera works, and they're out there just running their mouth because they say dynamic range is everything.
Let's say China.
And they think that the dynamic range means that the camera is amazing and the video quality is just tits. Dynamic range doesn't equal video quality. It does not. This is this is probably the best 249 gram camera. This is the best 249 gram camera. Notice that I did not say that this is the best performing 249 gram drone. This is not the best 249 gram drone. The best 249 gram drone is the Mini 2. Now, the camera on the Mini 2 isn't as good as the Nano Plus. Now, with that being said, if Autel's engineers make the software match the camera, then this will be an amazing 249 gram drone. But stop buying 249 gram drones, for fuck's sake. Stop. Why? Why are we buying 249 gram drones? Why? If you do not live in the United States, if you live anywhere else in the world where you have ridiculous restrictions, I understand completely. But if you live in the United States, pay the fucking $5, buy a drone that is worth the price that you pay for. Buy a drone that is capable, that you can grow with. You know what this is the equivalent to? This is the equivalent to buying a 600, like a CBR 600, and saying, you know what? I love this drone, but it doesn't go fast enough. I wish I would have bought a 750 or a 1000. Stop. You don't need a 249 gram drone in the United States. 249 grams, and if you're in a no-fly zone, is still illegal. So if you had to pay to register it, it negates the point of paying for a 249-gram drones. If I fly this near an airport, it's still fucking illegal. If I take a photo and sell it, guess what? I still have to fucking have a 107. So just pay the $5 to have a better product with a lot less issues. I don't understand this. Instead of us trying to make these drones smaller to cram so much tech, like putting so much tech into a small package like this is the equivalent of me trying to put my dick in an ass. It just sometimes doesn't fit. And you can't put that much shit in a small space. It just doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't fit. It's going to hurt. Okay? With that being said, instead of doing that, we need to try to push regulations to be okay with drones of a certain size. We need to start pushing regulations to be better for the equipment that we already have instead of trying to make shit smaller. That's stupid. We need to push back on regulations for the equipment that we already have. We need to stop trying to make shit smaller to accommodate the regulations, because the more we accommodate the government and the regulations that they impose on us, the more they say, you know what? They're okay with this. They're just figuring out ways around this because nobody's pushing back on it. Learn to push back against the government on these issues, and then we don't have to make shit smaller. Okay? That's my rant. That's my rant.
I agree. I agree with you spot on there. People want these mini drones sub 250 because they don't have to register and they think that they can fly them anywhere. And then also, I think the thought process is remote ID is coming down the pipeline, but sub 250, I don't need to be compliant with remote ID. And I can do whatever I want.
But they have to. They're going to have to be. What they're going to find is flying this will be no different than flying an Air 2S or a Mavic 3. There's no different. The only exception is if you are outside of the US. If you're outside of the US, the rules get a little bit goofy. Right. Every country from Australia to the UK to France to wherever, the rules get goofy. And okay, I understand that. That you have rules because you're outside of the US and maybe you don't have enough pilots to push back. But here, we need to start pushing back on this shit because enough's enough. Like trying to fly this will never be professional. We don't have the technology at this point today in 2022. I mean, for Christ's sakes, they announced this in 2021, September. I just want to remind everybody that a nanosecond equaled from September to January. We're in January now. Yeah. That's now when these are in people's hands. And oh, by the way, this is not in everybody's hands. The only reason why people have these units is because Autel pilots decided they were going to ship units before Autel was ready to have them shipped. Trust me, Autel doesn't want units in people's hands right now because they know that the firmware is not ready for prime time. Why do you think nobody in the US side of life have any product to sell? Why? Because the firmware isn't ready. But we're all impatient fucks and we have to have the latest and greatest. So what do? We pay these shady ass online resellers exorbitant fees to ship shit into the US just so we can say, I had it first. Exactly. I had it first.
Yeah.
That's I mean, for fuck's sake. Come on. Come on. We got to stop this shit. That fires me up. We got to stop this. We got to stop. Like the biggest problem is we're so impatient as hobbyists, as consumers, we're so impatient. We have to like there's no listen. There's no great joy in being first to a new product. There's no great joy. If there's anything I've learned is that the person who has it first usually finishes last, or they have the worst experience because now you're dealing with all the growing pains of a product. Take for instance, and it's not exclusive to Autel. Think about the Mavic 3, right? The Mavic 3. The Mavic 3 is a shit show for DJI. DJI won't admit it, The influencers that got their drones from DJI won't tell you it's a shit show, but it's a shit show. I hate to tell you. The GPS issues that the Mavic 3 is suffering is inexcusable. The disconnects that I have experienced with my Mavic 3 with the freaking RC Pro is inexcusable. I'm sorry. Anybody who spent any hard-earned money with the so we have options. We're going to be at the mercy of these manufacturers. I know people want us to say that everything is sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, we're losing you. We're losing you, Ken.
You're losing me.
Yeah, like you are buffering like crazy.
I think it's a conspiracy.
And you froze now. You're frozen on my end. There you go. So it's just me now. He's gone. He's disconnected. DJI doesn't want him talking. You see, DJI and Altel is hacking his bandwidth there. Javier SN95. He's on 3G. No, Ken got the best internet service you can possibly have in Florida. You know, not to deviate from the drone topic, but I know when I'm speaking to a Floridian, when they tell me they have Comcast, I don't know if they have any competition out there, but it's only Comcast. It appears to be only Comcast for them. Server meltdown. DJI said no more talking. He ran out of minutes. Carolina says, welcome to the Eddie Nunez show, everybody. So while Ken comes back, if he's going to come back, you know, let me give you guys an update. I had tremendous issues with the Mavic 3 when I first got it. And as you know, I returned it and repurchased it again from Best Buy. So it was just like a swap. I didn't want to go through DJI because I didn't want to end up with a refurbished unit. And I have had nothing but success with my new Mavic 3, the replacement. And I know Lon doesn't like when I say this, but I got the V2 version because I have a piece of foam that came with my new DJI Mavic 3. And that piece of foam is the second version. I don't care what you guys say. I've had zero issues. My GPS locks on less than 20 seconds instantly. Just the other day, I was flying in the city here, like closer to Manhattan with all the buildings. And my GPS, as soon as I powered that sucker on, instantly locked on. No disconnects, no horizon tilt that I see so far. And let's welcome Ken back to his show.
I'm 90% sure that I may have said something that they were just like, we're going to throttle this asshole. Because it was the weirdest thing, bro. I'm running a speed test, and my speed test is telling me you got 600 megabits down, you got 100 megabits up. And I'm like, but Restream is telling me you can't talk. It's showing me 1 bar.
Yeah, you got
you
like.
think they throttled me? You think they throttled me or something? They're censoring me?
Let me get Ray on this. Ray will know. Anonymous Ray.
Anonymous Ray will know what happened. Yeah, I think they Feinberged me, dude.
Yeah, I think so.
B-Man said they Feinberged me.
Yeah, you got progressively worse.
I did, Eddie. I certainly did. That was man. That was abysmal. They shut me the fuck down, bro. They hacked into my shit. They shut me down.
Fucking Altel and DJI was like,
they're like, shut this asshole down. I don't care what you got to do. Just shut him up.
Okay, Evolve was like, let me get a piece of that too.
You know, but here's the funny shit though. I saw Evolve at CES. I was walking through, and X Dynamics, they were there. They had a whole booth. So I wasn't trying to avoid them, but I went through there, and I was like, I'm just gonna be cordial and just say, hey, how's it going? I wish you well, type of thing. And it was actually pretty cool because the CEO was there, Benny was there, and we had a good conversation. And one of the cool things is that they actually, like he said, he goes, we're listening, we're watching, we're listening. He goes, we want to make it better. So they implemented new firmware like after the meltdown with me, and they're at least doing like things correctly. They're trying to be better. I mean, there's nothing that's going to help the price point of that drone, but at least they did implement firmware to fix the latency and the transmission on the drone. So that is something. So they made some good decisions in the right direction.
That's good. Hey, there's Billy Kyle in the chat. I like to fly drones, Mr. Billy.
Who?
Billy Kyle.
Oh.
How was that guy in Vegas?
He's a different breed, bro. He's a different breed right now. He's totally different person, bro.
You know what I love about Bill? When he
What's
goes outside of his comfort zone, which is PA.
Yeah.
He will film all this crap and you'll never get to see it.
No, we the first night we were there, I met him up at In-N-Out Burger, and then we walked our way back to we walked to the Wynn. And I kept telling him, I kept saying to him, I said, don't play the slots. Let's play poker. Let's play blackjack. And I don't know. Anyways, I walked away from him because I'm like, I'm going to go find a poker room or something. This asshole's FaceTiming me all like every time he hit on the slot machine. And he's just like this. He's like this every time he hits on a slot machine. Like this motherfucker, dude. He's got all the luck like that, though. He's got that like Vegas luck, you know?
Yeah.
I had a worst experience leaving Vegas, Eddie. The worst. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Anything that could go wrong went wrong for me to come home. Anything that could go wrong. So I decided I was going to leave Las Vegas the day early. Like the event technically ended Friday. I was supposed to fly out on Saturday, but my wife is very close to having our third daughter. So I was like, you know what? To be safe, I'm going to leave Las Vegas on Friday. What a mistake. What a mistake that was. I get to the airport at 11 o'clock. Everything is seemingly going according to plan, right? Everything's going good.
Right.
I get checked into the flight. I'm sitting in my seat, and now I'm on the right-hand side, the passenger side of the plane. Now we're on a Boeing 767, and they start the plane up, and they start backing away from the gate. Mm-hmm. And as we're backing away from the gate, the right engine catches fire. Not like smoking, literally catches fire. And I'm like, and I hate flying. Like, I'm the type of person, like, if shit happens on a plane, I'm going to fucking drive home. I'm going to drive home. I'm not going to get, nope, I'm going to drive home. I've done that. And I'm sitting there, and the plane engine is on fire. And I remember texting my buddy, Zach. I'm like, hey, the plane engine's on fire. And it's going green because he's already like in La La Land. He's already shut his phone off.
Right.
And I'm like, this isn't good. We're not getting out of here. So then it comes on the intercom, be like, oh, hey, just want to let you know, you'll see the fire engines out there. Everything's okay. We're going to return to the gate, and we're going to board you on this other flight. I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to get on this other flight. They promised us that we would make our connection flight in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So they board us on this other 767, which now I went from Comfort Plus to the back of the plane, like the back of the bus. I'm in the back of the bus. So that sucked. I'm sitting there. We were on that plane for 2 hours on the tarmac. 2 hours waiting for paperwork issue. We're getting ready to take off. And you know how like when you're taking off, they go full throttle. They're like, full throttle. And at the last second, the tower rejects our takeoff. The pilots go reverse. Oh my God. Let me tell you, at this point, I'm like, I want out. I want off this plane. I want off this plane now at this point. Cause I'm like, fuck, this is scary. So we're now sitting there and they're like, oh yeah, it's just a paperwork issue. Nothing wrong with the plane. It's a paperwork issue. So now I'm like, we're never going to make this second, like this other connection. So in Delta's infinite wisdom, they decide, Eddie, they're going to change my flight to 8 a.m. Saturday morning now. They changed my flight to 8 a.m. Saturday morning. And I'm like, fuck that. That ain't going to work for me. That ain't going to work. Saturday morning, that doesn't work for me.
Right.
I'm not sleeping in Atlanta. So we're trying and we're all arguing with the Delta. Like you can text them. So we're in the air, we're texting them. Somehow throughout the process in the air, we get all of our flights canceled. So all of us have our flights canceled. So now we're going to be landing in Atlanta with no flight. No flight. I'm like, fuck, this is the worst possible situation. My buddy Zach goes, I'm gonna go customer service on them. I said, what does that mean? He goes, I'm going to literally force myself off the plane and we're gonna manipulate ourselves on another flight. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. We have 10 minutes to run from the T terminal to the A terminal, which I mean they're close, but in Atlanta terms, you're fucked. So we're literally running Forrest Gump throughout the entire airport. Get to the gate, the pilots aren't even there. Turns out the pilots are on the flight that we are. They're the pilots for that flight. So, and you know why they decided to wait for me, Eddie? You know why they decided to wait?
Why?
Because I was wearing a Pilot Institute t-shirt.
Oh, crap.
Which brings me to my segue. In the link in the description below, there is a link. You can find it in any one of my videos for Pilot Institute. If you're looking to get your 107, I highly recommend Pilot Institute. It'll help you get on your flight, your connection flight from Atlanta to anywhere in the world. Pilot Institute, the only training program that teaches you appropriate LOS flight practices and never supports anybody that has a bird with a neck that's longer than its wingspan.
So the pilots recognized Greg.
They recognized the Pilot
branding,
Institute. They recognized the branding, and they said that they would wait. They recognized the situation, and they were like they would wait. So we got it all sorted out and got on the flight and fucking made it home at like 3 a.m. So I still made it home Saturday, technically. But
at least you made it earlier than
I made it earlier than
what they scheduled you for.
Yeah, I made it earlier than scheduled. And yes, I was having a meltdown. Like if you can imagine how I have meltdowns, I have a meltdown. Like I have a meltdown. My buddy Ron, who's in the chat, RM Photos, I'm texting him and he's trying to talk me off of a ledge the whole flight. He's like, it's going to be fine. He goes, you need to take a Valium, take a gummy. He knows you need to smoke something, whatever you got to do. You got to do it. You got to do it. So Yak Dog says, oh shit, that was you, man. You knocked me down and my Nano Plus broke. I'll settle in court for $7.99. I did throw somebody down the escalator trying to make it to my flight. So my apologies. I did do that. I'll tell pilot is also liars. Yes, they are. Oh, fuck that, dude. Let me tell you, funniest shit that ever happened in my life. We're in Las Vegas. We're in Las Vegas. And you know Pilot Institute, right?
Right.
So it's like we're at the DRL event and we're like walking around. I'm wearing my Pilot Institute sweater. Greg is not wearing any Pilot Institute anything. And Greg's got a mask on because they asked us all to wear masks. And people would turn around and say, oh, Pilot Institute. Oh, you're that guy. Look at him. Not me. They look at him and be like, you're that guy in the commercials. Yeah, I watch all your commercials on YouTube talking about Greg. This happened not once, not twice, 15 fucking times. 15 times. I count it. Greg is the most famous person I know. Greg is the most famous fucking person I know.
He has all the branding on YouTube on lock. You cannot watch a drone related video without watching one of his commercials first.
No, he's got the best advertising.
Yes.
He's got the best advertising. But he kept getting recognized. And I'm just like, this is unbelievable. This guy. Fucking guy. I said, I felt like saying, we're walking around CES and they're like, oh, there's Greg. Like, I was like, you want a Dobo sticker? Get out of here. We don't want you. Want Greg. I'm like, this fucking guy. He's a good guy. He bought me a waffle. Buy
I
me a
think
waffle.
between Greg and Billy Cow, they're the two most consistent people that I can mock.
Yes.
Word for word.
Yep.
The exact scripting never changes, word for word.
Give me your best Billy Kyle, Eddie. Give me your best Billy Kyle.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're here testing out the new Tesla and rechargeable batteries. And then at the very end, peace.
No, how does he do it though, Billy? Or how's he? No, how does he do it, Ed? How does he do it, Ed?
What do you mean? Like, how's
No,
he
he doesn't know. He does it like he almost throws it up the camera though. He almost throws it at the camera. Give me, yeah, something like that.
Peace.
There it is.
He tunes his voice for it at the end. You can tell. That's
he
probably
is
he goes, peace.
He is a very consistent individual.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the same gray walls for the last 10 years.
You know what? You've grown to love those gray walls, though. You've grown to love those gray walls. I mean, that's something I wish I had. It was that level of consistency. If we compared YouTube to Tinder, I'm the guy always swiping right.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I compare that to it. Unbelievable. April 1st, Tampa Airport Elf. I don't know what you're talking about, Lon. Lon is on this kick about this South Florida drone meetup thing. He's just on this kick.
He's recruiting people. There's a lot of recruiting happening for that.
Yeah, there is. Carolina Aerial Visuals can tell us Billy drinks and gets lit. It isn't a straight edge like he leads us to believe. He doesn't drink. He doesn't drink though. He doesn't drink. He doesn't drink.
To see Billy drink anything alcoholic, not even a beer.
I mean, you throw him on a craps table or you put him in front of a roulette wheel. Different story though. He may tell you not to stand there and may punch you in the face or something. I don't know. Elbow you once. He's pretty straight laced though. Pretty straight laced fella. I mean, and I'm a bad influence. And he holds his own with me, so he does not fail. He does not falter to my peer pressure. So that's for sure. No, I think Vegas went well. I think that was an absolutely. It went well, but it was like the end of it was just like I could have did without that. Food was great. CES sucked. I didn't get sick at CES, so that's a good thing. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're gonna get coronavirus." There wasn't enough people to get coronavirus. There's more people at a Walmart. There's definitely more people at a Walmart.
Looked pretty empty. Looked pretty empty.
It was very empty, man. It was very, very empty.
Now I saw that you were at the desert and you had like this big quad. I want to call it it's like an FPV drone or something with multiple drones on it.
Oh my God. So Greg drove from, so we hung out with Greg a lot. And he drove over from Prescott, Arizona. Mm-hmm. And he brought this thing called Octazilla. So Octazilla is a drone that has 8 props, 8 ESCs. It's just amazing. And it can carry 4 different drones. So you power the drones on and you basically fly it. So that way you have like the most consistent, you can have like this consistent, I don't know, comparison. Anyways, so this is the funniest shit. We have all these drones. We have like a Mavic 3, an Evo 2 Pro, the Evo Lite, and an Air 2S on this thing. So we have 4 drones on there plus this thing. And Greg, like, we're flying the Octazilla, and all of a sudden the ESC like gives out on the Octazilla, and you see this thing go like this. And in a moment notice, I was like, yep, there goes 5,000. I don't even know how much money it was. It was probably like $6,000 worth of drones. I thought was going to go crashing. I thought it was just going to go crashing down, but it didn't go crashing down. And we got some cool stuff. So Greg is going to be putting together a video on his channel. He's going to be doing a comparison. And I think what's going to happen is Billy and I are going to be on the show with him, and we're going to have to guess which drone is what.
Okay.
Person who gets the most right is going to win swag for their audience or something. That's what I heard. I don't know how much he's willing to invest into that, but I know he's going to be giving prizes away for the audience. So So whoever gets all of them right or closest to it gets swag for the audience. So
that's gonna be cool.
yeah, it'll be pretty cool. So that should be some point soon, maybe next week or something. I know it's a pretty hefty video to edit, but we're gonna do it sort of like almost like a live stream format, I think. So should be pretty cool though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I'm
but that
glad
was
it didn't come
that was cool.
crashing down. It must have some
Oh my God.
some sort of redundancy system on it, right?
It does it does have a redundancy system, and because I'm telling you, man, when that happened, I thought to myself, it's going down. It's going down. Like we're gonna lose all the drones. I thought to myself, we're gonna lose fucking everything. And of course, we were in this spot. We were in this spot called the Wheel of Misfortune. So it would have been the most ironic. It would have been the most ironic thing to have happen, where all of them go crashing down.
Yeah.
I did get a chance to fly some FPV while I was out there. Not a lot because it wasn't my quad, but I did fly some FPV. It's a really cool spot though. That whole place is just a really interesting place to go. So if you ever get a chance to go to Las Vegas, it's about 15 miles off the strip. You got to pay $5 to park if you decide to park at the gas station. And then it's like not a very far walk, but there's a lot of stuff to see and just it's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool place to be. So just getting caught up on the chat here. I saw we had some things come through here. So I'm actually in an email with an engineer from Autel Robotics, and they actually just emailed me. Still couldn't replicate the format issue. However, one thing we have noticed is that after formatting the SD card, the size of the SD card did not change. But the truth is all photos, videos were erased after exiting the settings page. Now bring it to a computer, brother. Yeah, I'm having a different issue. I'm definitely not experiencing that. Well, I will say they are at least actively working on whatever issues they're having. It is cool to see that they are actively trying to fix these problems, and they're being very communicative with the problems. So that is very encouraging. They want it to be right. So, I think after having the Mavic 3 be a complete shit show, I'm okay if this doesn't land in consumers' hands, as fast as we hoped it to be. I'd rather have it right than right now. I think that's the best thing to think about. Is I'd rather have it right than right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's worth the wait. Like what we experienced with the Mavic 3, you're spot on. We don't I wouldn't want to go through that again. I'd rather, if I'm going to pay any type of money for a product, let me have it when it's ready.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing with the case with the Mavic 3 is a pretty heavy drone. If I was having nearly as many of these issues that I was having with the Nano, I would be a little bit nervous. With the Evo Lite, I've had I've had only one problem with the Evo Lite, and it's such a minor issue with the formatting, and I'm pretty sure they'll fix that in firmware. Or I'll just try, I'll try Android next. I'll try the Android app to see if the Android app is different. But I haven't had any issues with the Evo Lite at all, and it's been rock solid from connection to the way it flies. It's been, man, when I say it's been perfect, it's been absolutely rock solid perfect. And it's I wish the Evo 2 Pro was as good as the Lite, because even the color science on the Evo Lite is different. If you stack it next to the Evo 2 Pro, the colors are different. They're not the same, one to one, the same white balance, the same image, the same everything. They're not the same. So they definitely made some changes, and it doesn't look all digital and over sharpened. It's hard to explain. They did something different. I don't know, man. It's freaking
Your
freaking
footage,
good.
I was impressed with the footage you uploaded.
Dude, and I shit you not. I shit you not. Maybe what I'll do is I'll take that footage and I'll put it up. I'll upload it to Google Drive for people to download it. People were thinking I color graded it. I literally took it right off the SD card. I didn't do anything to it. It was right off the SD card and didn't have to do anything to it. So that's pretty damn good to not have to sit there and mess around with anything. Dude, I'll take that. That's a win. That's a win all day.
Yeah.
So
now circling back on the Mavic 3 really quick.
yeah, go ahead.
There has been 3 individuals on one of my videos, the videos that I kind of titled disconnect issues that I had over at the beach. 3 people lost their Mavic 3 recently to a flyaway because of the disconnect issue. And I've been following up.
That's
Yeah.
scary.
And I've been following up with them, like just, talking back and forth. And DJI has replaced all 3. But that's scary that you have a flyaway. I mean, I haven't heard about flyaways in such a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't you lost a drone recently, right? You lost an Inspire, right?
I did.
Due to the new firmware issues.
Yep. It just so the Inspire 2 has a new firmware update where it puts the drone into
Low power mode,
right? So you don't get any warning. So the drone decides based on battery temperature and voltages and I don't know what else that it's going to go into low power mode. And what happens is when you're in low power mode, like you can be out there, like I was out there, I didn't have enough power to return.
Dude.
So what happens when your drone reaches critical battery and you're at 1% and you're not over land?
Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
It's going to go down. How sick to your stomach did you feel?
Oh, it's such a crappy feeling. Like I've lost drones, but when you lose an Inspire 2, I mean, it doesn't matter when you lose a drone.
Thankfully you're over the water though.
Yeah.
Not over land because
Oh man, imagine that.
So I've seen those things I've seen Inspires just plummet out of the air and I'm like, holy shit. Like I've seen them in the desert where they just like they're pushing it harder than shit and it just drops out of the air and I'm like, can you imagine if that was like in a city or somewhere like in a populated area, how bad that would be? That would be horrible.
It's terrible. And the risk that they put you on, the risk is insane. I just Lon real quick in the chat says, do you have a flyaway over disconnect? Why doesn't the drone return to home? Weird. Lon, that's the same thing I thought, but the guy actually he has his flight logs uploading. You can analyze them. His drone had a GPS lock and his home point was locked before he took off. So he had full GPS. And the fact that DJI is replacing these, whether it's a Cine, it doesn't matter, Mavic 3 with the flyaways, that means there's a bigger issue there.
Yeah, that means they know something's going on. And I think you're onto something when you talk about the version 2 Mavic 3s, because for you to have an entirely different experience than what other people are having. Now, I had to send mine in and DJI sent me one back. And I can't really say I'm having a better experience as far as GPS, but knock on wood, I haven't had any flyaways, but I have been very, very cautious when it comes to taking off and making sure that the drone is calibrated. I mean, I'm being a lot more cautious than I normally am, and it's just an uneasy feeling. Like, because with my Air 2S, I never gave it much thought because I'm like, all right, it's got GPS, we're golding, like, who gives a shit? Take off, send it. But with the Mavic 3, I found myself waiting a lot more, which in turn you miss some shots, you miss shots because you're sitting there waiting, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bummer though.
No, there's a lot. I had another local friend of mine who just bought the Mavic 3 and he was flying in Long Island and all of a sudden his drone said landing because he was out of nowhere in a geo zone that wasn't on his remote. And it just forced him to auto land, and he had no control over his drone.
Yeah, I mean, F1 3DFX says, "Can you say chip shortage?" I don't think chip shortage has anything to fucking do with it whatsoever. I think the reality is when it comes to the Mavic 3, this is the first drone that DJI has produced since they've been put on the entity list. And we don't know what components they were getting from companies that had American backing. The Air 2S, the Air 2, the other quads that they produced, that was before they hit the entity list. So you don't know what implications occurred when they were entered into that because you don't know what their suppliers were at that point. There's very possible that DJI has decided to source their products from a different company, which may not have the same quality assurance that they once used. There's definitely something different as far as quality goes with the Mavic 3. It's hard to really definitively say, but I bet you if somebody disassembled the Mavic 3 and compared it to the likes of the Mavic 2 Pro as far as chip manufacturing goes and overall quality, I bet you they would be able to see some subtle differences that could affect the way it flies. Again, it's not going to be a one-to-one because it's a different machine, but that's just a speculation at this point. I mean, there's definitely something. I think there is a common denominator between them being entered on the entity list and then some of these quality control issues they've had. I mean, it's hard to really. It's hard for me to say that it's not tied. They're not linked. It's really hard to say that they're not linked. What do you think, Ed?
No, I agree. I think that something in their process changed, and now that's where you're seeing all this gaps or opportunities in their products. But something in their process definitely changed, because no matter which drone they've had, like, down from a mini, right, all the way to their top of the line premium drones, you didn't see issues like this. Now,
And
all of a sudden,
it could be even this. Like, check it out. Maybe they were using a vendor that had, a chipset that came in at a good price point, and it was a known chipset and it had good performance, but because of chip shortages and maybe due to cost, because again, they're having to pay a higher price to import their product into the United States now, right?
right?
Because once upon a time, you can take a shipping container and it can be brought into the United States, like with, you know, thousands of DJI units for, let's say, $8,000. Now those same shipping containers are $30,000 due to inflation and all the other bullshit. So now they said, okay, well, if we can't save cost on import fees, maybe we'll save costs in manufacturing. And that's something to do with what we're seeing as far as inconsistencies goes. I mean, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt there as far as that goes, but there's definitely some problems there. And I think that they know that they have those problems as far as manufacturing goes. I mean, we'd be naive to think that they weren't already aware of that as it was. That they have.
Yeah.
The fuck was that?
Oh, that was me.
Was that you?
Yeah, I opened up a new window.
Oh, well, you scared me.
They were infiltrating your stream again.
I was thinking to myself, I'm like, they're coming after me again. They're coming after me again. Don't get mad, but DJI was on the entity list. Yeah, but Lon, again, when they produce a product way back. 2020, they already had the Air 2S ready to roll in production. This is not like they already secured components. Like you guys fucking think because they're on this list that it's going to affect something right away. There's paperwork, there's processes that have to be fulfilled. A lot of times, just because somebody gets put on a list doesn't mean that those orders get executed for like 6 to 7 months. Remote ID was announced. Do you have remote ID in your fucking drone? You don't. You don't. You want to know why? Because it takes a while for those processes to commit. Like that's fucking politics and bureaucracy 101. I mean, come on. I mean, that's Super Lock says, give Bot a slap on the butt for me in Florida. I'm going to see him on Friday. So he's doing a live stream Friday night, and I'm going to be finally get a chance to see him. So it's going to be like, I'm picturing in my mind, like slow motion and the music in my mind. Like,
do you guys have cool spots that you're going to hit up?
Like, yeah. I told him, I said, just text me when you land, drop, let me know where you end up. I mean, there's a lot of places around Tampa. We're probably going to get kicked out of a lot of places because he's coming in on Friday. But I'm sure there's going to be plenty of spots to fly. And, I don't know if we'll be doing much flying. We'll probably be doing more bullshitting than flying. But, nonetheless, I mean, it's monumental having him come to Tampa,
Yeah.
So it's monumental having him come to the Tampa. I was supposed to link up with him when I was in Philly, but just like the whole shit show with the flight, But yeah, the Florida boys, they got spots. Some places I've never flown, but I don't get along with all the Florida guys. There's like a handful of Florida guys that like I don't get along with. I don't give a fuck. I'm not there for them. I'm there for bot. You know, I'm there for bot. I don't give a fuck about them. But I think it'll be fun. I flew a little bit today. I just practicing dusting off the cobwebs a little bit because I haven't really flown a lot. Like I just haven't had a lot of time. I was just practicing Matty flips today, just trying to get them like dialed in because there's a couple of spots where there's like, oh, it's perfect.
You don't fly beta flight, do you? Right, it's all KISS.
Yeah, I fly KISS only. Yeah, I see a lot of people flying KISS though lately.
Yeah,
a lot of people are migrating over. You know what? About fucking time. About time.
Betaflight has an update, not fully released yet, but 4.3. I don't know if you've heard. Flies pretty well.
You know, I just got tired of fooling around with Betaflight's bullshit. Like, I could build a KISS quad and drop my settings on there as long as.
You're fading out again. Oh, you're gone. You're completely frozen. You can't can't talk crap about Betaflight. There you go. You're coming back. Say you love Betaflight.
I love Betaflight.
Say it again.
I love Betaflight.
Ah, nah. They don't believe you. You're completely frozen.
God damn it.
Holy crap.
What's going on?
Yep, you're stuck in that one frame. That's DJI coming back in again. DJI was like, let me let this guy ramble a little bit. Let me but you know what? It's not happening to me. Oh, look at that. You came back. You look like okay, you're coming back now. There you go.
Bro, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? What?
Oh,
why
man.
can I hear you? Why can I hear you there?
You hear me? I can hear you.
Say it again.
I can hear you.
No, say it again.
Ken, original Dobo.
Fuck me.
Can't hear me? Oh man, you messed it up.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you, bro. This is bullshit.
Oh man, someone's messing with you.
What is going on, dude? What the hell, dude? I don't know how you got over there.
We're still swapped. There you go.
I just fixed it. I don't even fucking know, bro. I don't know. I don't understand like why your feed is coming in because I'm looking at the bandwidth and it's fine. Like
I see the TV back there too.
You think it could be that?
Nah, can't be. You have enough bandwidth.
But you think maybe I should put some Billy Kyle on? Yeah, put Billy Kyle on or something.
Like, what's up, guys? Billy here, and today we're going to be talking about the Autel Nano Lite.
Who should I put on there? Should I put? You know, let's give Paul a watch. He's only got 2 people watching.
Oh my god, you're so fucked up.
There's Feinberg. There's Feinberg. So now there's 3 people. So maybe if I'm watching his stream, it doesn't fuck up our stream because I was watching my stream. Which why would I watch my stream? I don't know.
Quality assurance.
Paul still can't get his fucking white balance right.
No?
No, look at this shit, dude. He looks pink.
I tuned him in. I tuned into his channel the other day for a live stream. He has a mic like this big. And I was like, Paul, can you do the same thing you did on Drone Brews with that mic?
Bro, I'm looking at this mic, dude. This mic is huge, bro.
Yeah, it looks like
looks like a big dong. Looks like a big dong, dude.
Yep, it does.
There's Flyby Guys. Everybody say hello to Flyby Guys. Steve, he is in quarantine.
Yep.
I think he was in Taiwan, right?
He's in Taiwan, yeah.
Taiwan. He was in quarantine. He's still got, I think he still has 5 more, or no, he's almost got another full week and a half of quarantine to go.
Yeah, I think he has more than a week, yeah.
That's got to be miserable going into a new country and then having that happen. So I couldn't even imagine.
Imagine stuck in a room with no contact with anybody. Can't go out.
I'd throw a quad out the window, man, and just go fly a little bit. That's where I go. What was I saying? Oh, you know what? I was talking about Betaflight and then the stream froze up. So I haven't updated any of my Cinelifters. I haven't updated any Cinelifter to Betaflight 4.3. I'm going to probably later this week. But then I got to retune it. But actually, I think I'm going to switch over to iNav. I think I'm gonna switch my Cinelifters over to iNav. I'm seeing some good things.
Yeah, I got to see iNav in action, and it's incredible, man. It's truly incredible. It's like a Mavic. I mean, iNav will literally have your quad return back to you and land. The one thing
That's
I didn't
amazing.
like, the one thing I didn't like is the tuning process. It's complicated.
Is
It's
it
not,
complicated?
yeah. So for example, like Anonymous Ray, he installed it in his Chimera, and we
Yeah.
both have the same Chimera with the stock iFlight tune. When he installed iNav works perfectly on the Chimera. It sounds like pure shit. Like the motors has that stuttering sound. It sounds disgusting. And he was getting a lot of vibration, and he's having a hard time tuning it through iNav.
Okay. I've heard people struggle with iNav. I mean, once you get iNav like dialed in, it's the features outweigh, I think, the struggle.
Yes.
I think for me, like for having the Cinelifters, to be able to have it to where it could like auto hover, to me, that would be amazing to have that. I think I'm gonna go iNav for all thing. I see Pilot Institute is in the building. They must have heard us. If you go way back in the stream, we put together this amazing plug for Pilot Institute, like this amazing plug, like talked about how like they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere. You can't go anywhere. I was in Waffle House the other day and they're like, "Oh, you know Greg too." I'm like, "Fuck you guys." Waffle House in Brooksville. Yeah, I'm gonna switch everything over to iNav. So
Yeah, it's the coolest thing ever. You hit a switch, literally stays there hovering. You
yeah,
don't, it doesn't drift even with wind. It's locked. Like
I think it's gonna be awesome if they can get it going. So next week we got a special guest. Like I normally don't do guests, and I've been asked to take part in live streams recently. I've had to cancel a few live streams. I'm not going to do any live streams anymore. Like I'm not doing any live streams because I don't have the bandwidth for it. But I did get a guest that I feel like would make a lot of sense. So Max from Alltel Robotics is going to be on. We're going to be taking a deep dive and talking not so much about the product, but I want to talk about the software and the thought process that goes into these updates and what they're doing to correct some of these things. We're going to ask him some questions. Some are going to be harder questions than other questions, but we're going to do a different style interview next Wednesday. And if my wife goes into labor before and I'm not able to make it, I will have my laptop with me at the hospital. I've already told her. I said we're gonna fucking. I said if it's directly after the birth, that's okay. The hospital has amazing internet. We'll stream right from there. If it happens before birth, depending on the situation, my daughter will drive her to the hospital, and then we'll be here. We'll do this, and then I'll go have the baby because that. Talking to Max and understanding this is going to be important. But if it happens at the same time where she's going to have it and she says, listen, if you're not there for the birth of our daughter, I will leave you, divorce you again for the third time. Well, then I'll have to make decisions at that point. I hate making those decisions. There's Bot Grinder.
Bot is in the chat.
Bot is in the chat, man. Friday night, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot.
To see that footage, yep.
The video will be demonetized in the first 25 seconds. Demonetized. Just gone. Obliterated. You know, it's funny. Like you watch, we watch people on the internet, but then when we get a chance to finally meet, it's like it's surreal.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling to finally meet the people we get, we hang out with online. So, labor doesn't start until 8 millimeters. All right. Well, we're at 4, so we're good. We're good. So how long's 4 last for, Eddie? You think I can make it till next Friday? Can I make it till next? You're a doctor.
I don't know how that stuff works.
You know, I mean, is there a YouTube guide for this shit?
I'm sure there is. With like,
I'm gonna ask the doctor. I'm gonna say, can you I don't know, is there a way to prevent this? I guess I should have thought. I should have thought this. I should have thought about this before I did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing here.
I should have thought about that. I don't know what I was thinking. 37. Why am I starting over, Eddie?
Yeah, no.
You ever want to like just run away to an island, Eddie? Just like, hey, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go to an island.
Yeah.
I'll bring some drones. I'll change my identity, but on this island, I'm somebody different.
Yeah, an island with palm trees, with unlimited mangoes.
Unlimited mangoes.
Go.
Mangoes, baby.
Oh man, I wonder how many people in the chat know that what a mango is.
Oh shit. I'm literally walking on eggshells until like I don't care what happens after Friday night. Like I don't care. Like if the baby's gonna come, it's got to come after Friday night because I can't have that because like if I'm poised with the decision of what I'm going to go to, I'm gonna have to go fly.
So
I'm not being inconsiderate, but there's things that only happen once in a lifetime.
When is the estimated arrival date?
They say the 22nd, but according to the doctor, it's running a week early. So a week early would be the 17th. I'm just not liking. Yeah. I'm not liking my odds, man. I'm not liking my odds.
Well, she should know based on how she's feeling.
Yeah, I just told her. I said, don't feel anything. So I said, just shh. So I'm doing things that are less stressful.
Okay, that's good.
Like I took the garbage down today. Like, pretty good.
Okay. Baby steps.
Baby steps. Took the garbage down. So hopefully I put together a swing.
I saw you tested it.
C-section is the solution. I wish, dude. I wish she ain't having none of that. She don't. I already tried. That ain't gonna. I mean, it's gonna go. It's just. I mean,
oh my god.
Yeah, but no, man. It's hopefully that doesn't go down, man. I'm still watching Paul's stream. He's up to 5 people.
And out of the 5, how many are also watching from here? That's also interesting.
5.
Let's look at the live chat. Let's call them out. Let's call them out. Let's see. They're like, oh shit, I shouldn't be double streaming, double watching.
But notice how now that I'm not watching our stream, it's fine. I don't know why that is, man. FedEx F1 3DX says his wife was in labor for 18 hours and they decided to do a C-section. Fuck that. God damn it. God bless it anyways.
I don't want to go through that again.
I don't want to go through it again. I'm done. This is it. I'm done, dude. I won't do it again. No more. Soon as I'm done, I'm gonna go chop it off. All right, so Eddie, what else you got for me tonight, man? You got anything else?
I think that's it.
That's it, man. We got, we'll see what Alltel wants to do. They want me to send this back to them so they can look at it. So maybe I'll do that. I will say by weekend's time, by next Monday, I will have something cool for Alltel, the new Alltel controller.
Cool. I do have something for you.
What do you got for me, Eddie?
So the remote, remember the remote for the what do you call it? The Nano Light X or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
So the sticks, did you figure out where they go?
Dude, I looked. Where?
They go, there's 2 inserts in the back and you screw them on.
Where?
Right in the back. Right in the back where the antenna is. You just got to literally flip over your remote.
Okay. And what do you do?
You screw them back in through the back.
Let me look. Where are the holes? Because I'm literally looking. I see there's 2 screws here. There's screws in there. There's 2 screws here. Where?
The back of the hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm looking at the so if you flip it over.
All right, so I'm facing the backside.
Yep.
Where?
Hold on. Okay. So you have it flipped over. Look right underneath the antenna. You don't see 2 holes at the bottom, like
Yeah,
the
there's 2 holes here, but like
just screw it on there.
dude, that's not where they go though. That's not where they go. They don't go in here like that.
Behind is at the back.
There's 2 screws here.
Yeah, exactly. That's where they go.
But there's screws in there.
No, at the bottom, not the actual antenna. The bottom
Dude.
portion of that antenna, like attached to the remote, to the actual remote.
Dude, there's no holes here. Like, there's no hole
On the back.
back here. Like
Yep,
here.
right there. Like, yep, right there. There you go.
That's not where. I don't think they intend them to go there though. I don't think they intend it to be like that though.
Oh,
Because it doesn't. The only reason why I say that is because there's not a threaded hole. That's not a threaded hole. I don't think. Yeah, that's not intended to be there. That's not a thread. There's no threads in there. Like people are putting them there, but that's not where they're intended to go. Like there's no threads there.
Oh, so it won't lock in. It won't stay in place.
No, because I can still move it.
Oh, okay.
And look, it's not even straight. So eventually what's going to happen, because that's plastic, that's going to wear out because it's plastic. I mean, it's close, but that's not where they're intended to go. Like they literally didn't include a spot. And here's the other thing. Let's just say you keep screwing those in there and you fuck up those screws that are here. Now you're really screwed.
That's true.
So I wouldn't advise doing that. I mean, the reality is they just didn't include anywhere to mount them. Yeah, I saw people talking about that. Like, but that's not like
it's not a solution.
That's not a solution. You're literally putting a stick where it doesn't belong. Like you probably have a better luck sticking it in your ass. I mean, like I watch so many different videos on this, like because I was gonna do a video, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give Autel the benefit of the doubt with this. I'm gonna do something different than I normally do, which is jump the gun and just fucking blaze in glory, and just whatever. I was just gonna go at it, but I said no. I'll wait because they'll probably update the firmware. But I'll just fly the light, man. I'm going to worry about the light. I'm going to worry about what works best. And what works best is the light. Like the Nano's cool, but it's not like, it's not 100% there yet. And because it's not 100% there, I'll let them get there. And when they're released, then we'll talk about it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that.
Kyle Watts came in to verify that he's on the screen in the back.
Yeah, Kyle Watts is right there. And you can see fucking Paul's mic. Look at Paul's mic, bro. Look at Paul's mic.
Yeah, I can see it. Like, oh my god, hilarious.
Paul's mic looks freaking huge, dude. Looks huge.
Yeah, that thing is insane.
I mean, it's huge. I mean, I've got mic envy right now. Mic envy. Look how big that mic is. You can see it from here.
Yep. Well, he's definitely said he can't eat it.
Kyle's trying not to laugh. Look at Kyle. Kyle's trying not to laugh. Oh, Paul just glitched. You see that? Paul glitched.
He still has that pure bandwidth.
Poor Paul. Kyle doesn't even have a mic in his face. Kyle looks normal, good white balance, and Paul looks like I don't know what he looks like he went into 7-Eleven or Circle K, and he's like, I'm gonna get a big gulp. Give me the big gulp of mics. And he's got like this big ass mic, and he's just like stacking it like this. This is Paul's mic.
It does look like that. That thing is huge. I'm looking at him now.
Give me a 32-ounce mic. Oh shit. All right. I don't think he can swallow that mic.
Hell no.
I'll give him $100 if he can swallow that mic. Eddie, go into his chat right now and tell him Ken will give you $100. I will literally Venmo him $100 if he swallows that mic.
Going in there now.
He's got to get it all the way in his mouth, though. Like he's got to go for the gold. You fit that mic in your mouth, Feinberg. $100 right now. I mean, all the way. I want to see girth. Let's see if he puts it up here.
Just sent it to him. Bob Casey's there as well.
Is he?
Salmon Rose FPV. Look at all these guys from here.
I mean, he can't get it. He can't get it halfway in the mouth. Halfway in don't count. You got to get it in all the way. Spam Paul's chat. Ask him to eat his mic.
Yeah,
everybody go over to Feinberg's video. Go over his live stream and spam his chat. Beg him. Tell him to eat the mic.
They're telling him to do it. Actually, tell him, like, type it out.
Yeah, type it out. Say, eat your mic. This is how you fuck up live streams right here. This is how you fuck it up. If you stuck it out for this long, God, well, you're just a tortured soul right now.
Oh, everybody's doing quadcopters and text saying, Paul Feinberg, do it. Matt Bagwell, eat the mic. One Vision Aerial, eat the mic. Everybody. Brad Henderson, eat the mic.
He's reading the chat. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on.
Rose FPV, full throat Paul.
Kyle knows what's going on. Kyle's laughing because he knows what's happening.
Yeah, Kyle's like the innocent one. He's like, what did I get myself involved in?
He's like, oh shit, I just came to check out what's happening here. And now Paul's gonna eat the mic.
Paul is trying his best to ignore it.
Eat the mic. Eat the mic.
Caps, guys. Do it in all caps.
All caps, or it doesn't count. What would you call him, Eddie? Would you call him Deep Throat Paul or Deep Throat Feinberg?
Paul sounds better. Deep Throat Paul.
Deep Throat Paul. I like it. It's got a certain ring to it.
Yeah. Jake's Drone Life. Everybody's in there now saying eat the mic.
Oh shit.
He's ignoring it. He's definitely ignoring it. How can you ignore it?
He's ignoring it. You can't ignore the people, Paul. No. You can't ignore the people. You can't ignore the people.
Oh my God. He's doing his best to ignore it though.
Yeah. He ain't gonna eat the mic. I'll save that $100.
Yeah.
I'll save it for next week. I think every week, Paul, or every week, Eddie, we just raid his stream, asking him to eat the mic.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get a smaller mic next week.
Think he's noticing. He's noticing, I think.
Yeah, he is. Because look at his face.
Yeah, he's noticing.
Is he?
Maybe not.
Nah, he's confused.
Yeah.
He's confused.
Literally, his whole chat is eat the mic.
Kyle almost is going to laugh. Look at Kyle almost laughing.
Yeah.
Kyle smirking.
Oh, he grabbed the mic.
Oh, he made contact with the mic. I'll get a nasty text after this. I'll get a nasty text from Paul. Oh, we tried.
Yeah, he's ignoring us on purpose.
All right. Well, that's going to do it.
Oh. He's definitely talking about it.
No, you got to take it all the way, Feinberg. Take it all the way. Yeah. Take it all the way.
All the way.
Got to take it all the way or it don't count. Get it all the way in, baby. If I'm paying for it all. That's why we don't have a female audience base, by the way.
Holy shit. He's not going to do it. It's
impossible. It's impossible. Impossible.
Hey, imagine.
Talking about the girth of the mic right now. Right now he's talking about the girth, how thick it is. The juicy mic.
He's looking at it too. Like with passion and dedication.
Eddie, you got it. You got anything else for me, Eddie?
Nope, that's all.
All right, bro. Let's I'll hit the outro and then you hit the outro, then we all hit the outro.
Cool.
All right, don't Stevie Wonder on me.
I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion and reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my
Is that supposed to be a crude representation of me, Edward? That's supposed to be That's me. I do that. That's what I look like, Eddie. That's me flying. You
bro,
son of a bitch,
bro. Even on the simulator, you was
no, I'm not on the simulator, like, Stevie Wondering, bro. No,
yeah,
I'm not.
I saw it. There was slight hints. You were going to the left with it. You're like,
fuck you, Eddie.
I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion and reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby,